For more on this story, on the threat, I'm joined from Washington by David Gartenstein-Ross. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and an adjunct professor at Georgetown University Center for Security Studies. David, thank you for joining us. So let's talk about these threats. I mean, how seriously are you taking this?
I think that your introduction did a good job of really outlining what's going on, that you have a number of malls that were named. The malls were not named at random, it's worth saying. They're places that have both large Somali communities, but more specifically large Somali communities where you've had people go over to Somalia and join al-Shabaab. That's true of Edmonton. It's true of Minneapolis-St. Paul, where the Mall of America was named. But that being said, it's not as though there's any evidence of there being a specific plot to attack them. We can look at the plots on two levels. Like, number one, there's the possibility of an organizational plot which would target these malls. But number two, both al-Qaeda, of which Shabaab is a branch, and also the Islamic State have been very big at trying to encourage lone wolves to go and attack targets. And this can be seen as part of both the possibility of an organizational attack, but also a desire to try to rally the troops and get someone to maybe carry out a random shooting in the organization's name.
You know, we have seen threatening videos of late in the last few months, those, though, from ISIS. So is al-Shabaab trying to take a page from ISIS's playbook?
I don't think so, because, look, this has been done for a while. ISIS certainly has a playbook, and there are some things that are unique about ISIS, including aspects of their video production and their mastery of social media. But encouraging lone wolf attacks, encouraging people to try to carry out attacks against specific targets is something that al-Qaeda branches have done since long before the rise of ISIS. Just after bin Laden's death, for example, in June of 2011, al-Qaeda released a very long video, about 100 minutes long, encouraging people to carry out lone wolf attacks in the West as well. So it's kind of a tried and true method.
We were talking earlier today to one guest who was suggesting that he thinks al-Shabaab's trying to brand themselves with these threats of specific to mall attacks. What do you make of that?
Well, and malls are a very attractive target for rather obvious reasons. It's a communal gathering place, so you have a lot of people there. It's an economic lifeline for a lot of cities, and being able to make Americans or Canadians afraid to go to the mall would have an economic impact. If you look at terrorist targeting, jihadist targeting, over the course of the past decade and a half, they've tended to focus on places that will have a ripple effect economically and socially. That's one reason why mass transit has been a target. Also, airplanes remain an attractive target for similar reasons, because each time they fail in an attack against airlines, it causes a hardening of security. It makes it harder for people to get onto planes in the first place. It makes traveling more uncomfortable. Focusing on malls is very similar. So I do agree with that guest. I think that there are rather obvious strategic reasons why malls are attractive.